All right, looks like we are live everywhere. Welcome to Hypnosis Hero, the only podcast where you can get hypnotized through the screen. We should be live on Facebook, YouTube, on a couple different channels there, the Hypnosis Hero podcast and Hypnosis Hero pod. We are also live on my SK Hypnosis TikTok feed, so for those of you that are seeing actually double of me, that's not, don't get your eyes checked. You really are seeing double of me, and I apologize for it. That's like twice as much Shawn is really, really good for a lot of things. But looking at him on a video screen, probably not so much. So with that in mind, we're going to bring on my co-host. I'm not sure if he's actually relocated from Seattle or not, but let's take a look and say hi to the co-host with the most on the coast, Brian Bay.
Hey, good evening, Shawn.
How's it going? Yeah. So Sir
What makes
Hilarious.
Sir?
That sounds Roman.
Yeah, Transibus hilarious. But yeah, what made you think I relocated from
Well,
Seattle?
because it's Sir Transibus Hilarious. It sounds Roman. I'm thinking Italy. Thinking a villa somewhere in the mountains.
Oh no, that was it's the mock version of a Latin night of hypnosis and comedy. it's what ChatGPT came up with. So we'll kind of try something just to see. I'll periodically I'll change up the title just to see who notices and just kind of have some fun with this. So
well, and you know what, we might just have to do that, as a little bit of as an incentive to check in and make sure you check out which handle Brian's using. Because if
it's the title.
If he ever flies off the handle, then we're all in trouble.
No, if I become the voice of reason, Shawn, then we know that everything has gone super sideways. But
we're in the upside down, that's for sure.
How are you doing, man?
School is rolling now, and it's a kind of the crazy busy. Now that people are back, they're actually using things, and I need help with, and hey, I forgot how to do this, and all the fun stuff that we normally do. So it'll settle down in a couple of weeks into the kind of mainstream that it normally is.
Where you just go, have you tried restarting it and turning it back on again?
Well, I tend to leave that to the IT department, because if I say it, it's kind of like I'm still there, and people, I still get 5 years later, 4 years later, that I've been on the education side as a consultant, and I still get, hey, can you help me fix? I was actually out of school today and said, oh, you're here to install my printer. I said, well, what do you mean?
No.
Well, I need wires from one. It's like, no, that's still the IT department. That's not me anymore.
I know who can help you with that if you want to call this person.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what I said. I said, I'll let them know that you still need this done. So for those of you that are joining on TikTok, feel free to post questions in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. And same thing for those of you that are joining us on Facebook and YouTube. We've got Becca here. Good evening, good night, good morning. I guess it depends on what you want to. You're after midnight for sure.
I think there are. Let's see. I got to do math.
Hold on. Don't do the maths, because that's what they call it. It's not one math. You do lots of maths.
Right. It's I'm trying to think. Let's see. 6. All right, Becca. I'm gonna go with. Is it 11:30 p.m. or is it after midnight over there?
It's 1:30 a.m.
Oh,
1:34 a.m.
Grant and I were just having this conversation earlier going,
don't talk about time with Grant. That doesn't work.
we were scheduling posts and stuff like that. So we...
Yeah. Okay, for Becca, it's sleepy time, apparently. She's still half asleep, so that's okay. We'll come back to you, Becca. No problem there. We're already getting some questions on TikTok tonight, which is really kind of cool. and one of them is can memory recall be fixed? So we'll actually chat about that, because our guest tonight is absolutely a master of hypnosis and has um, a great number of years of experience working with people on a lot of different things. So we'll get to that in just a second. I did want to say, and Brian and I were looking at our schedule, and we're getting kind of busy on some other fronts as well. So this is what we'll call the end of the season. So end of season 3, I guess it would be, because we've had a couple of years with Jim. Oh, look at that!
No,
You got me in out of step stereo, which, I mean, that's going to confuse everybody.
no, I went to let's see.
Was I on Facebook there, or
I went to go share this on the Performing Hypnosis page, and it made me switch. So I've got us live on YouTube, and then on Facebook
okay.
on a separate screen. So when it switched, it kicked the what's it called?
Kick the sound on.
Yeah.
We've got Jen C, my friend from Manitoba, Coach Mike in on TikTok here. So we've got some additional viewers. Is that train too loud? Can you hear that train coming through?
I heard it, but that's fine now. It just
Okay. Well, it'll get louder. Don't worry. It's coming this way. I can tell. There, see?
Oh, it says hi again.
Yep. All right. So anyway, end of season 3 next month. So starting at the end of this month, I guess we're going to go to the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. I may just have to close that window now. Unlike Jim, I always wear pants, so I don't want to scare anybody. You know,
that makes one of us.
So end of season 3 here. Starting next week, we'll go on to a second and fourth Tuesday rotation, similar to the second and fourth Monday that we used to do with Jim. It helps us better plan, and gives us some time to schedule in some of the other things that we need to do as well. So we are going to roll with that, and we are still working on getting the podcast onto Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor FM, and however many other platforms we can get on for free. We will keep pushing that out. So once we get there, we'll let everybody know. But next week we'll kick off our new season with a very special guest, and I'm not going to mention his name right now. All I'm going to say is he likes the color purple, and we're going to leave it at that. For tonight, though,
You didn't sign that goddamn dinosaur, did you?
Shh, it's not a dinosaur. He might seem like it when he's cranky, but that's okay. Don't tell him I said that.
Oh man.
All right. Let's pull this over here so I can actually read it and look at you guys at the same time. Tonight's guest is a master hypnotist, and I would even say a mistress hypnotist, because I can say that.
Is that because you're no longer married, or?
Hang on. She's got over 4 decades of experience captivating audiences across North America and beyond. From county fairs, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. College campuses to the legendary Glastonbury Festival in England. She's brought her unique blend of entertainment and mind mastery to thousands. Trained by hypnosis legends like Ormond McGill and Charles Tebbets. She also brings deep intuitive insight to her work through her skill in tarot. So she's got that as well. And I think it would be fair to say, get ready, because this is going to be a really cool interview with a really awesome lady. Get ready for the deep dive into the art of hypnosis, the power of suggestion, and the mysteries of the mind. And welcome to the Hypnosis Hero podcast, Miss Lisa Kunschick, otherwise known as Misty Knight.
Hello, hello.
God, how was that for an intro? He's talking about mistress. I'm looking for Santa boots and the riding crop and everything, but
my crop's downstairs. Sorry.
Poor Alan was on the receiving end of it, but hypnotize faster.
Well, that's funny because we do a comedy duo show, and at one point he just looked at me and he said, "You do the hypnosis part." Like I don't even want to bother with it. I'll do the funny part. I'm like, okay.
And everybody else in the audience is like, "Wait a minute."
Well, no, our show is titled Misty and the Sandman.
So is that
they are expecting me?
Well, sure. I would hope so. It's not Sandman and some blonde chick.
Well, he does have a type.
But no, so yeah, now that I've completely thrown us all off the rails now.
Really? Brian, you did?
We've set a new record this evening, I believe.
Of 30 seconds? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I've screwed things up in far less time than that. But
we got a few people in the crowd wanting to say hi. Tommy Girlando saying, "What up, frenemies?"
Hi, Tommy. I just saw Tommy.
If I remember correctly, he was like, "Yeah, I'll eat whatever on pizza," but then we kind of got like a half and half commitment out of him, if I recall correctly. Or was he a no, I will not order that?
Honestly, I don't quite recall, but he can throw that into the chat.
Okay.
Becca saying she's awake now, so now she can type. Mom wanted to go to Glastonbury, and I was going to get tickets too. If you get a chance to see Misty and the Sandman, go. Absolutely.
Oh, are you guys going to Scotland?
No.
No,
so
I'm sorry.
Glastonbury is in England, and we did not perform this year.
Okay, I got it mixed up with Glasgow.
You are not the only one.
I was talking to a sheriff's deputy earlier this week. Voluntarily, he rides motorcycles too, and he's from Scotland. So we were talking about the Glasgow area, and yeah,
and people from there call it Glasgow. So
yeah.
All right. What else we got cooking here in the chat? Got a few people on TikToks. Jen C is giving you a thumbs up and an oh cool. I think she likes you already, Lisa. And she also guessed Barney.
I have a guess, and it's not Barney. It's 2 syllables.
And then is it who I think it is? No, those initials are not the right initials there, Coach Mike, but that's okay. We'll keep playing anyway. So yeah, we've got
Tommy would eat a fried boot on pizza. He also enjoys pineapple on it, and he loves pizza indiscriminately.
That, you know what that tells me? That tells me that Tommy,
my faith in humanity is destroyed.
Dog. Oh boy! All right, we should probably talk with Lisa about Lisa, because Lisa has got all kinds of really cool things on the go, and we also had an interesting question right off the bat in the TikTok chat, which is about memory, and so. Lisa, you're the master hypnotist. Let's talk a little bit about what we can do with memory or not.
So, memory is a muscle. The more you use it, the better it gets. There are definitely games. There's hypnosis that you can use for it. My best recommendation, though, is to start practicing remembering things. There are definitely a lot of tools out there where You can utilize, when you meet someone, you say their name 3 times to build it in, or you associate a picture with them. So there's lots of things that your mind can do regarding memory, and hypnosis is one of those components. But it's definitely a muscle. The more you use it, the better it is, unless, of course, you have some type of medical issue.
So that kind of brings me to a question: are there different things that you can do, like for people that have family members or are caregivers in like a memory care facility where there's people that are dealing with struggling with early onset Alzheimer's or dementia type of stuff? Is there a way to kind of curb that, or
I have actually researched into that. There's some
Mhm.
dietary things that you can do. I am not a doctor. They
Sure.
have done a lot of work in other countries where they've made the facilities look more like a little town to give people some resemblance of an outside life. They've
Okay.
done studies with music. They've done studies with using dolls to give them, something to care for. And
Okay.
the
Kind of feel
person,
that sense of purpose again.
yeah, the
Okay.
person that really has, I mean, again, my main gig right now is stage. So I do
Mhm.
comedy hypnosis. I know other hypnotists that are way more qualified to answer these questions.
No. Okay. So
Okay, yep, let's go with that. I was actually
uh,
just gonna look for that. It's like, where to go?
yeah, I was like, Becca's got her question about what interested you into hypnosis and kind of what got you into it. Um, if you're able to kind of share with us your story.
So I was not interested in hypnosis. Now, I had read a book and there was this like rainbow thing in there that I recorded and listened to before I went to bed on a tape recorder, because this was a long time ago. And it said, that you could write what you wanted to do. And I was like, I wanted a job. So I did those suggestions on the tape. But
Mhm.
other than that, I wasn't, too interested in it. But a friend of mine said, there's going to be a hypnotist at my apartment complex. So this was in the 80s. I'm going to out myself now. This was in the early 80s, and apartment complexes had these recreation rooms.
Late 1900s.
Yeah, yes, late 1900s. Not
I,
even the
I
late 1900s. Before that,
I fit in that as well, so I can say that.
yeah, because you were born then.
Yeah, partway through, but
Yeah.
yes.
So, they had these rec rooms with like a pool table and a kitchen and whatever, and you could throw parties in them, and people would go around and do classes in them. So there was going to be a hypnotist at her apartments, and she said, "Oh, I want to go to it." And I said, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Well, but will you go with me?" Now, teenage girls, we don't do anything alone. So she convinced me. I went
And
to
it
the
stems
class with her.
far into adulthood. You guys still go to the bathroom in pairs.
We learn young. We learn young. Safety in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this class, and he described the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. This was the era of the iceberg imagery, where your conscious mind was what was above the water and your subconscious mind was what was below the water. And that was how he explained hypnosis. Then he turned out the lights, put on the pretty music, and started talking about walking to a pool in a garden. And I started coughing. And it was like this, and I was trying really hard not to cough because I didn't want to ruin anybody else's experience. So this continued a little bit, and I'm fighting it. And he comes over to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, "You have an internal conflict. And when that's resolved, this will all go away." And I'm like, "What? Whatever, dude." But it calmed down, and the next thing I know, lights are on, open your eyes, and everybody's talking about walking in the forest and meeting their spirit animal. And I'm like, that didn't happen. I now know that means that I'm a somnambulist, or as Scott King likes to call me, an Esdalian. Because I'm like, if I remember any of the hypnosis, you didn't do it right, is my opinion. I'm out. But I know I was hypnotized because I don't wake up when someone says the word 5 to me, but I do come out of hypnosis. So that is one of my pet peeves, is hypnotists that just say, whenever you're ready, come out of hypnosis. See ya.
So I've had conversations with people that are like, well, I didn't get the response that I was looking for. And it's like, well, sometimes you need to, tell people, give them explicit instruction.
Yeah. So that was well and good. And the guy says, oh, I'm going to be back here next week with another class. And it's only $10. $10 was a lot of money. Minimum wage was $2 and something an hour back then. My budget for the week was $10. Cigarettes were 75 cents a pack. They were going to go up to $1. Mm-hmm. The horror. So I went home after the class, and I'm like, I'm not giving that guy my whole budget. Forget you. So I go home and I light up a cigarette, and I start coughing. And I'm like, internal conflict? Whoa. I run 6 miles a day, and I smoke. I sing and dance in a show choir, and I smoke. Cigarettes are going to cost $1 a day, and my budget is $2 a day. I don't smoke. Threw it out. Done. Just done. No withdrawals, no nothing. Never smoked another one. And I was like, maybe there is something to this hypnosis stuff. But I still wasn't going to give that guy my $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little while later, I think they still do this. The local schools, colleges, whatever, they have adult school at night.
Mm-hmm.
They have, basket weaving or creative writing or whatever. So
Right.
There was a class that was going to be 16 weeks long, and it was self-hypnosis. And I said, oh, okay. So I signed up for that class, and that's where I found out what it meant when I didn't remember the majority of the hypnosis. And I actually took that class twice. I was still in high school at that time, and I actually got school credit for taking hypnosis training.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool of the district to honor that.
It was part of the adult school, so it was considered a class. And because I was still a high school student at that time, I didn't have to pay for it. So,
Mm-hmm.
So after taking that class twice, the teacher said to me, I'm going to be teaching a class on hypnosis as a career. You should probably do that. And I was like, I couldn't afford it right away. Waited a couple of years. And then I did end up taking every class. I took multiple. I stopped counting at 750 hours of training. He would bring in these giants in the field, like Ormond McGill came in and taught us stage hypnosis. Charlie Tebbets came in and taught us parts therapy. We would watch videos of Milton. We would watch videos of Fritz. It was in-depth training. It was 16 weeks long, just like the other one. But my first hypnosis training, the 101 class, as it were, in between every class, you had to hypnotize 10 people. And you had to write it up and bring it back to class the next week and talk about like what worked, what didn't work, what induction did you use, what did you do. Mm-hmm. So by the time you finished that class, you had hypnotized over 150 people because you were also working in the class with other people. Mm-hmm. And that's a big difference between the training nowadays and the training then.
How would you kind of contrast and compare between training, modern day versus when you went through?
Well, I think the world moves at a faster pace now. So people are not going to spend 16 weeks to learn the basics. They're just not going to. There are some basic classes that get you out in a weekend. There are some week-long courses that are very in-depth. They're 8 hours a day for 5 days.
Mhm.
So the deep training is still out there, but the majority of people will become a hypnotist at a weekend warrior class.
Boot camp. Yeah. Yeah. Give me everything that you know in bite-sized chunks in 2 days.
Yeah. And that that brings me, so I ended up, and the story goes further, that I did do all the training. I did set up a business, and I would get people, they would call me. This was 40 years ago. They
Mhm.
would call me up and they would set up an appointment, and then they would come in and they would look at me and they would say, "You can't help me. You're a little kid." I was not a little kid, but it was very disconcerting.
Mhm.
So I went back to my mentor and I said, what am I going to do? Like, this was my plan. This is what I was aiming for. This was my goal. And he said, "Well, have you thought about doing stage?" Now, if you guys want to dig deep into some hypnosis history, you can Google Dr. Dean San Diego Hitman, and you'll find an interesting story. But most of the hypnosis that was going on in San Diego at the time was bars. And they were doing what we would consider adult content today. And I said, I don't want to do that. That's not me. That's not who I am. So my mentor said, "Well, what about house parties?"
How would you define the adult content that they were doing back then in the bars? I mean,
So
obviously it's
one
21
of
and up.
the one of the skits was, of course, having girls take their shirts off. Another one of the skits was convincing people that they were doing drugs and not pass the dochi from the left-hand side,
Right.
involving a straw. And it was dust. It was just not nice.
So they were actually. It's not like, hey, here's a clear straw. Take the
Air,
invisible hypnosis cocaine out of my.
right.
They were actually snorting
Yes.
stuff up their nose. Okay.
Yes. So I was like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, that's
So
crap.
it's crazy, right? But this was a long time ago.
Hmm.
So I said, "House parties, that's a thing." And he said, "Yeah, I can do it." And I went home. My neighbor said something about having a party for her husband. And I turned around and I said, "Oh, do you want a hypnotist at your party?" And she
Hmm.
said, "Yes." So that's how I started doing stage hypnosis. I did house parties. I had a boom box.
Right.
And I would show up at their house. I had a recording that I made, And eventually, though, because I did these house parties, people started saying, "Oh, can you help me stop smoking? Oh, can you help me lose weight?" So now I had the cred. I had the street cred.
Hmm.
And I did get an office, and I gradually transitioned away from doing stage. I did my last house party in 1999,
Hmm.
and I opened my clinic in 94.
Okay.
So I had a little bit of transition time, but I had years of doing, I did years of house parties before that. It was not my main gig, though.
Hmm.
It was definitely not, nothing. I mean, Deanna Nunez started out in 1999, and she just blows me out of the water with the amount of shows that she did.
Yeah, she's a total sweetheart too.
Yeah.
We,
And she's in San Diego.
I know she's in a really nice part of San Diego.
Yeah, I
uh,
live a little inland. But so yeah, so that's kind
oh,
of
so,
where
so you're back in San Diego now?
I am at home. Yes.
Okay, awesome,
Purple
awesome.
wall means home.
No,
I'm on a mastermind group,
no,
and
but
yeah, and
yeah,
they joke about what my background is. Purple wall means home. Yes.
okay,
Becca
yeah, so
also says she prefers the word to be wakened rather than whenever you're ready.
yeah,
Like
she,
poke me a little, right?
yeah,
Like, unless I'm snoring.
because kind of like what she says, it's like, hey, I'm not ready, leave me alone to relax, or it could be kind of like what you were talking about earlier is there's some vague instruction going, well, does that mean right now? What's the appropriate time to wait? I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to be the first one there.
Right. I don't want to be the last one either. And I have been many times. I've been in a group hypnosis session where all of a sudden I realize it's very freaking quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I open my eyes and everybody's sitting up already. And I'm like, oh man.
It's like everybody's like waiting on you, sweetheart.
But I did tell the hypnotist prior to the session, I'm not going to come out on the whenever you're ready. You have to give me a count up, and people have their way that they do it, and that's how they do it.
Specific direction, yeah.
So unless it's a sleep one, there's going to be a count up on mine always.
Yeah. So Jesse Lewis says hello everybody. Jesse, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Scott King says the biggest difference in the classes is the going and hypnotizing 150 random people. So Scott, always good to see you. And Becca says that's crazy. I'm going out on a limb to when that comment came in. You had just talked about the stuff that went on in bars and some of the examples. So we'll go with that. I'm gonna concur.
I'd say that's about right.
A lot of the stuff that's going to get you sued today.
Yeah. I am of the generation of the human bridge. I have done the human bridge. We do not do the human bridge anymore. There are too many safety factors, and your insurance doesn't like it.
So much they will cancel you.
Yes. So I don't do that. Back then, though, I will be honest, it wasn't very impressive to see tiny little me stand on a grown man.
Yeah, someone was like, that guy's got a great abdominal muscles. He must work out. You're going to use the human bridge to sell more fitness, personal training than anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry, the sun is just coming in at the right angle where.
Well, you look a little stripy there.
Yeah, you have your blinds giving you a little makeup.
We'll try that. Even things up. And then as the evening goes on, it's just going to look like I'm in the cave.
That's why I set up lights.
So, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Misty and the Sandman. And you guys also have a boot camp that you run. And it's not, we talked about the boot camp, in relation to the Weekend Warriors. This is not like that. But let's talk about Misty and the Sandman. How did you guys get started?
How did that come to be?
And then where did it go from there?
So everybody knows Hypnothoughts Live. Actually met Alan at Hypnothoughts Live more than 10 years ago. And
that's the summer Vegas one, right?
Yes. That's the big one. It's the big one. And, he gave me his business card, whatever, we exchanged numbers, but we did not communicate. The next year, came back, saw him again. The funny story is he tried to set me up with Terry Stokes, who is a very handsome man and old enough to be my father. So,
and if you haven't met Terry Stokes in person.
Oh, he is a very handsome man.
He is.
He is.
He is quite the guy.
So Becca says, wait, did I miss anything? So Becca, we met, or at least I met Lisa, and Alan Sands is her business partner. The first year that we had PHS in Las Vegas in person. Mm-hmm. So that was the year that Jim was there before his passing. So kind of, Beck hasn't been to one of the conferences. Fingers crossed that we're looking forward to seeing her this year or 2026. So kind of catching her up there.
Up to speed, yeah.
And then Susan Gilman, Dot.
Yes.
Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. So
Susan has to change your name to just Dot. I mean, that's
just Dot.
Just Dot.
It is the greatest marketing ever.
Absolutely.
She's the only stage hypnotist anybody remembers her name. So,
So you left off. You had
I
met
had met Alan,
and then we're coming back the second year, I think.
And then the third year, which was not the third year of Hypnothoughts. I couldn't tell you how many years it's been, but I've been to all of them. But the third year that I had ran into him at the convention, we were hanging out at the bar, at the Alligator Bar. If you know, you know. And
I know.
He's like hanging out and we're talking, whatever. And I don't know how many of you guys know Richard Barker. Shout out to Richard Barker. He looks at Alan, he looks at me, and in his very British accent, for fuck's sakes, kiss her already. And so I'm laughing. I'm like, oh,
alcohol was involved in
alcohol.
this.
It was a bar. What do you know?
Yeah.
So yes, we kissed, and I was like, hey, that was something, and that was the start of something.
And here you are.
And here we are, 9 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then about 8 years ago, I started touring with him and performing.
Okay.
And speaking of boot camp, he made me do boot camp in 2018. So I actually had to do boot camp just like any other student and do the shows. And you like it?
Becca's joining us from England. I
can do a right proper British accent. I was being Richard Barker on 6 or 7 cocktails. So.
All right, Becca, put in the comments, explain the difference between the two accents, because I know there's the Grant Saunders,
it's like America. There's so many, and probably the reason why I hear that accent the way that I do is that I'm actually from the Deep South, and until I was 14, I talked like this.
And then you went to the other South, where it's a little
where we travel on the 15 to the 5. Those are 5 ways. So yeah, when I came to California, I discovered that if you talk like this and you look like this, people think you're stupid. So I did spend 7 years giving myself a non-regional dialect.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Unless I'm in like South Carolina, North Carolina, then I have to revert because I don't understand them otherwise.
You just let it all hang out and go back to your roots.
Well, because that, you speak any language you understand. You think with your French brain or your English brain or your Southern brain.
Right.
So the boot camp. So I taught stage hypnosis before. I did it. I didn't have the same connections that Alan did. I did the classes, I taught rapid inductions, then we did street hypnosis, and then we did stage hypnosis. And at the end of the stage hypnosis class, they put on a fundraiser show at whatever venue we could get to volunteer it for the fundraiser. And the money went to the venue. So it was a fundraiser for the venue. And they would do a tag team show. So my training partner and I, which was Jay Williams at the time, we would do the pre-talk, the induction, and then hand off to them. They would do their skits that we had worked on throughout the weeks. And then we would do the wake up and the post hypnotics. And so that's how I taught stage hypnosis. Alan started in 2013 doing the boot camp because he was doing county fairs, and he saw the same thing that I saw, is that people needed to be able to hypnotize strangers, or randoms, as Scott called it, because working in a classroom, you're working with somebody that's already been hypnotized, that knows, they've been fractionated over and over and over and over again, right? They know what's going on. They know what to expect. You don't learn how to deal with the reality of a show by working in a classroom. So county fairs was what he settled on as the perfect training ground, because you're getting live audiences, you're getting different people all day long, And of course, there are people that we have the term, and I don't know if it's politically correct because we call them hypno junkies. So I think we need to come up with a better term for that, because that implies it's not, that implies badness.
Yeah, they're more than hypno curious.
Yeah, no, they're there every show.
Oh God, Shawn, that sounds like there's a couch that's involved.
There's always a couch involved, Brian.
Yeah.
Come on to Shawn Kostiuk's hypnosis casting couch. That's. I'm trying to go. So,
Therapy couch.
So
Therapy.
I from earlier when we had that little sound blip that doubled up, I was trying to share our broadcast link on the Performing Hypnosis Summit page. And so I'm trying to go like submit. And I clicked over and I was like, oh, I posted it like 15 times. So I'm trying to go like undo all the duplicates. And and then I heard hypno curious and I went, pump the brakes. What just happened here? You probably heard the skid marks in my brain. And
The wheels stopped. Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there are people that they get a taste of hypnosis and then they want more. So you will see that at county fairs. People will go, they'll come every day or they'll come back show after show. But the benefit to the student is that they're getting to do multiple shows. We had a fainting couch as part of our set and we didn't get rid of it. So we've had a hypno couch. But
wait. The fainting couch. Help me. What was that part of a skit or
no?
Or was that just the couch that you sat on after you fainted to be like, all right, here's some shade, here's a glass of water, recover, or there's something kind of went.
Well, okay, true. So when we do the boot camp, we bring our whole steampunk setup. We have a 20-foot trailer that holds assorted antiques, oddities, curiosities, and the fainting couch was one of them. We did get rid of it because it was getting destroyed, being dragged around. And that's actually where my stage name comes from. So when I did the boot camp in 2018, we had bought the Model T in 2016. And that was the first year that we used her on a fairgrounds was 2018. So her name is Miss T because she's a Model T. That's her personalized license plate, say Miss T. And we were at the fairgrounds and people would come up and they would say, is that your car? And I'd said, yes, that's my car. And they said, so you're Misty? And I said, no.
Okay.
And I said, okay, why am I fighting this? That's fine. I'm Misty. It's all good. So that's actually how Misty came about.
So that's how the stage name was born.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a few. I used to do a duo hypnosis show, the Hypno Sisters, and I was Chloe Doll in that setup. So yeah, I've had a few stage names because Kunschick is, difficult to pronounce, difficult to spell. Once you know it, you know it.
Easier than Kostiuk, though.
Not by much.
Yes, but if people mispronounce your name, they don't put certain letters that don't belong in it.
There have been combinations.
Not as bad as the ones I've gotten. So the boot camp does provide people with a way to do a show 5 days in a row and to tighten up their show if they're already, kind of experienced, because they're getting Alan and I, and we have more than 60 years of experience total. We are watching shows, we're giving feedback, we're giving direction, we're videoing the shows, we're helping you set up a sound system. We work with you on costuming, we work with you on makeup. And you can find out that information at hypnosisbootcamp.net. We're actually going to be in Redmond, Oregon this year, and we've been there 2 years previous. It has 170,000 people attend that fair. And we actually already do have hypno fans that come every time that we're there and want to know when the shows are.
Okay.
And Dot knows a few of them because Dot's performed there.
Right.
So, yeah, we don't take more than 5 students because we want to be, thank you. We want to be able to give everybody personal attention.
Well, and one of the things that I again, we talk about the differences between, the microwave generation that wants quick and easy, and here you're doing, I forget how many shows you said a day. Sometimes it's 3-4 shows a day.
Well, they do one each, one to 2.
So every day you get to do your show, pick it apart, improve on it the next day, pick it apart, improve on it the next day. Like there is some serious process there that when you come out on the other side of that, you will be so much better at what you do.
It's and you won't have the bad habits because that's what we work on. We get rid of those bad habits. It builds up muscle memory because I can tell you with the pandemic, there was a period of time we didn't do a show, and then we went to go do a show and we were like, oh, wait, what's next?
Yeah.
And we do the same show. We always do the same show. I mean, there are some pieces that change and the reactions change, but the basic premise of our show is the same. Because the audiences are different.
I was going to say it's got to be, when I use the term snowflake, not the derogatory politically correct term, it's like no 2 shows are the same because you're always changing the variables of the audience.
Yeah.
And then whatever sound goof ups or equipment failures that when Murphy just decides to rear his ugly head,
the sound system goes on shuffle. Yeah.
We've done 4 sound checks. Nothing could possibly go wrong, and then it's just crickets.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I did all my sounds. So I did a show on Friday night. I did the show. Everything was great. Did the sound check. Wonderful. But I only tested like the first couple of sounds just to make sure I had the levels right. And then somewhere along the way, he restarted something and the levels were just all weird. So I had to pull things down and push things up. But when I went to do my Get Smart shoe phone, cell camera routine, the ring was so low I could barely hear it.
So you pull out the old sound effects. Bring, bring.
Well, I did that for other pieces of the show.
Yeah, that happened.
I guess that's better than the polar opposite, where it's like you play the sound effect and everybody just jumps out of their seats.
Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes when it's like one song is like blasting and the other song is like, meow. Yeah, I had Alan, I did a fair, and Alan left to go perform somewhere else. And I hooked up the sound system. He took the other sound and I was using this new one that we have called Solo. And so and I got it to work. Okay, cool, fine. Go to start the show, nothing. I'm like, all right, we're going a cappella, whatever.
Hey, everybody, let's get this party started. And then you're like, okay, let's get this party started in Spanish. Take 2.
And that was my Yorkie show. The only thing that worked was the headset mic. So we do what we can with it, and everything else was a manual sound effect. So, hey kids, what's the funniest sound in the world? And
raspberries.
150 kids saying farts.
Yeah, raspberries. Raspberries. Farts are always funny.
Yeah, so we can do that, and did a couple of impressions because I can do impressions along the way, and anything you do to spice it up and still make it a good show.
That's the sign of a true professional, that you could do your show without music. I know people that have done shows with power outages. Like,
yeah, I would
just do it.
kind of logic for me almost sounds like it's a good idea to have a designated sound person, so
It
that if
helps.
like you
It
can, if
helps.
something needs to be tweaked, it's like I know what I need to hear, back here, I can adjust volume or whatever. But when you're up on stage and you're kind of sitting there going like, there's just so much to manage.
That
If you've
means
got a
that
microphone that's got a cable, how do we not trip over it? If
you better have some
you know,
training.
who's managing
Hence what
everybody on
Dot
stage.
said.
What's that?
So
Said hence what Dot said. Brian.
Yeah.
Go to boot camp.
No, like I remember the first time that I was on stage with Jim in Seattle at Laughs Comedy Club, and I'm like, okay, cool. I've done the hypnosis and everything like that, and it's like you get up on stage and you're looking, you got bright lights in your face, and all of a sudden
it's different.
you're orienting. You're has to be cognizant how you're orienting yourself to your volunteers, to the crowd. At the
And we
time,
cover all of that at boot camp.
yeah, and I was sitting there going like, oh my god, this is, and I was up on stage for what felt like 30 seconds, and Jim was like, yeah, dude, you were 10 plus minutes, man.
Nice.
And it just goes by like that.
Yeah.
It passes differently, and you bring up an interesting point about managing the stage, and I think the big piece of course is making sure that your volunteers that come up are safe, and they're not they're not, we get floppers. I mean, we there, I don't think there isn't any one of us that hasn't had a flopper.
If you haven't been doing it long enough.
Yeah.
But apart from them, managing that stage and learning how to work, you need to put the time in, and you need to take that seriously, because that, if you don't, that's when the accidents happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's the benefit of boot camp, is that not only do you have Alan and I, you have your other classmates, and they're all there. If something goes wrong, somebody's got this cable, somebody's got this thing for you to borrow, or they've got your back to pull chairs or whatever it is. It's like having 6 assistants that are just ready to help you out at all times.
Yeah. Susan says a lot to manage, but it can be done.
It can be done.
Yep. And she just produced her own show.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So
she can do it all.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting at. It wasn't like, oh my God, it's so much. It was more recognizing that when you're up on stage, there's a lot going on. You gotta remember what you're doing. Like I said, there's a lot that you're responsible for.
There are people that only work with a sound tech, that only work with a video tech. And what do you do if that guy doesn't show up?
Yeah.
Or he doesn't show up early enough that you can teach him your cues.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's not paying attention and doesn't hit your cues.
Yep. And I had that in Regina. The very first show that I did, actually, the very first combined show that we did was in Regina, and the sound tech, I said, when I do this, fade the music and let's get on with it. And he totally missed it. And so we went
his
through,
version of fade was just cut it completely.
No, we actually went through 4
going.
minutes of conducting the orchestra, which, I mean, after 45 seconds, it was enough, right?
It's enough, right? Yeah, they're done.
So,
they're done.
anyway.
It's boring. People are ready for something else.
Yeah.
Especially, and you talked about the microwave generation. We're almost replicator generation at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's true. And that ability to say, tea, Earl Grey, hot, and have it pop out.
It materializes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And speaking to that, I just read this morning that the parent company for ChatGPT, OpenAI, they're actually now, they strongly hinted, which means they're probably already doing it, building robots at scale for sale to people. So
I know people that are waiting for their They're house bought.
Until something catches on fire and you realize that, like, oh, that lithium battery that's inside the bot that got stuck is what
No,
was the ignition source.
That's the cars, not the robots.
Yeah.
We don't know though. We don't know yet what their source is. Solar
Yeah,
power.
no.
You got to put them out in the yard while you're at work.
So what are a couple of, if you had to pull a couple of either not tidbits, but some quick tips that people would learn from your boot camp, kind of give them a little bit of a taste of some of the stuff that you cover.
Some of the stuff that I cover, myself particularly. So Alan has his own skill set. Alan is the sound guy. Alan will talk to you. He'll teach you how to, and I actually taught this year setting up the sound, but it's not my forte. I work with people on what you say is important. So people don't realize that they're saying something. And I'll give an example. I had a student come and he said, I had this really great opportunity to do this show. And I went to do the show and I was hypnotizing the guy and he like fell over and he fell on his head. And I said, okay. And he's like, I don't know why that happened. And I said, okay, do your induction for me. And I was like, okay, I'm listening to the induction. I was like, just do it, like hypnotize me right now, do your induction that you do. So there's a difference between clinical and stage work for inductions. So
stage, you want to be fast.
Well, not only that, it's what you say, right? It's direct versus indirect. It's Ericksonian versus authoritarian. So when you have someone in your recliner, right? That's different than if they're sitting here.
Right.
So his induction was, the basic walk down the stairs, 10, 9, 8. At the bottom of the stairs, there's this beautiful, soft, white, fluffy bed with a beautiful, soft, white, fluffy pillows and a beautiful, soft, white, fluffy comforter. And when you get to the bottom of the stairs, fall into bed.
Oh, I was going to be like, lay down. And the guy was like, wonderful. Not lay down on my back and sink into it. He was like, end of my work day, I'm just going to
fall into bed. And I said, okay, I know why your volunteer fell out of his chair. You told him to. And he said, no, I didn't. And I said, yes, you did. You're like this. Where are you going to fall? Yeah. Right on your head. So it's little things like that you don't realize that you say. It helps people. I help people break those bad habits. I help people because there's a lot of people that will come up and they'll give a pre-talk and they instantly start talking about all the myths. And these people never heard that. So why are you going to feed it to them? They came to see a hypnosis show. And it's the same thing that when I had a clinical practice, someone came in, they wanted a job at my practice. And after the interview, I said, do you have any questions for me? And he said, yeah. How many people that come here don't get hypnotized? And I said, what? What do you mean? And he was like, yeah. I said, well, what's your ratio then? And he was like, oh, I'm about 50-50. And I was like, oh, wow. What? Because he said he'd had a practice in another state. And I was like, no, I don't really have that problem because I'm only, and this was a class that I just took, they talked about only selling to the converted. So at that time, someone had to open up the yellow pages. They had to pick a hypnotist. They had to call the hypnotist. They had to set up an appointment and they had to show up to the appointment. They were converted. They wanted hypnosis.
I was going to say, they put enough effort into it that they're committed on some level.
This was not street hypnosis where I'm walking up to random people and going, hey, want to see something cool? So I was like, what are you talking about? So, and that's where it came up that he only knew one induction that the guy that he bought the business from had taught him. And a lot of clinical people that move into stage, they'll bring that clinical, very calm, whenever you're ready, just relax. And like you said, you don't have time for that. when you're doing a stage show. You want your induction to be quick. And by quick, you still don't want to make it be 30 seconds because you want to give something entertaining for the people that came to watch as well. They're not going to believe it. If you just walk up to everybody and do a rapid snap, pull, snap, pull, snap, pull down the line, they're going to be like, yeah, they paid those people.
These are all the stooges and the plants and stuff like that.
Exactly. So you got to have some show with it as well. But I would say the biggest thing that I bring to boot camp is that I have years of hypnosis knowledge that I can impart. I have NLP training. I understand words from that perspective. And I help people to tighten up their induction. I help people to play with their suggestions. I work with them on being safe. And that includes the words that you say, because you don't know, we use a lot of vernacular. I was in the corporate world for a little while. I was a bank manager. I had one employee that was out ill more times than he wasn't. And I was like, bro, what's up? Well, this was the phrase that was very popular at the time. If something was really, really nice and really awesome, you would say that's sick. And he said that all day, every day. Dude, that's sick. That's sick. And so I challenged him. I said, do me a favor. Let's run a little experiment. Cut that word out of your vocabulary for 30 days. And let's see what happens. Let's see if you get sick. And he's like, no, sick means cool. And I said, when you were 8 years old, what did sick mean? And he said it meant ill. And I said, exactly. So your subconscious mind doesn't know the vernacular, right? So we might say something's fire, like it's fire, and somebody's been in a house fire and they freaked out. So I help people work on those kind of things. And by the way, the experiment worked, and he never used that phrase again because he did not get sick during that 30 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So those are the things that I bring. Alan brings more of a theater background. So he helps people with, the sound and where they, I also work on where they should stand and how they should stand. We do some improv. It's an experience. It really is experiential. You cannot get the same thing from reading a book or taking a class in a classroom with 10 other hypnotists. And someone asked about how was, what was the best training for stage hypnosis? And I said, well, my answer, and I'll tell you, no one ever learned to swim on dry land.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Alan doing kind of more of the production and probably technical side of things. He did his talk on just how to tape down cables and cords to the floor.
Yes.
Safety. And I went back and I went, oh my God, that is amazing. So we had a couple of different events, and I'm like, let me see if this thing works. And I did it, and I was like, oh my God, we don't have shit all over the cords and stuff. This is awesome. Everything came up super easy, but it was very secure on the floor as well. And I was like, that was worth every bit of free that, of getting that from the presentation. But yeah, it was super helpful. Yeah, it really was. And it's like just these little tidbits that just tend to stand out. I mean, he was talking about a whole bunch of other technical type stuff, but that was like the one thing that just was like, I know I'm going to use that. That's going to come in handy.
Gaffer's tape. Worth every penny.
And we talk about it, Grant and I have talked about it on Hypno News. When you go to something like this, or you go to PHS as a conference, you have the opportunity to really interact and really get to understand and really get to know. And I think, in terms of training, like you said, there is really nothing else like this out there, because you're there to not just, here's the book, go do it. you're there mentoring them every step of the way, and I think that right there is already setting you guys apart from other trainers that are just like I said, being the weekend warriors or just doing it online. Like I would have no problem doing an online introduction to hypnosis. That would be a few hours. Totally get that. But if you're actually going to have a class, it needs to have some content and some mentorship to it as well. So,
and we do offer an optional 1-day pre-induction training where I teach people really how to do stage hypnosis inductions, because there is that difference. It's a subtle difference between clinical and stage. And if you already know hypnosis, you aren't going to notice it because you're like, oh yeah, they're doing an induction, and you're not going to hear the differences. And I had one of our students at this last one. It was warm. We're outside at a county fair, and part of her induction was feel a warm, healing light flowing over your body. And I was like, yo, it's 95 degrees. They don't need a warm nothing.
Yeah.
Like, cut that out. And she's like, oh my gosh, my clinical just slipped right back in. And so,
yeah.
But that's what boot camp is for. It's if I get you early enough, I'll prevent the bad habits. And if I get you later, we'll just have to crack down on them.
Yeah, I mean, no, one way or another, you've got to adjust and kind of hone everything in perfectly. And I was talking with Joe Beth, and he was like, yeah, he took your guys's the boot camp, and he said, yeah, we were able to go to forget where you guys were at specifically when he did everything, but they were like, yeah, we got a chance to work on stuff, multiple times a day, collaborate in between, make adjustments, and he spoke very, very highly of your guys' course.
Thank you. Yes, he actually did 7 shows at the boot camp.
And how many days was that? Was it a 2-week or 1 week?
No, 5 days.
Okay.
So the boot camp is a week. So I'll explain the itinerary. So on Monday, everybody comes in, we eat for dinner, we get to know each other, unless you're signed up for the optional rapid inductions training with me. Then that would be earlier on Monday. So everybody comes in, we settle in, we meet, we have dinner, we get coordinated, we work out some logistics. The next day, we might even go over sound that day. The next day, we go to the fairgrounds, we set up the sound, we set up all the stuff, and we go over what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And then the next day, you do shows. And then 5 days, you do shows. So you're setting up the sound system, taking it down.
On the Tuesday, do you get out there and do the students get to watch you guys do a single show, or?
There's nobody at the fair on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
We're setting up. It's set up. This last boot camp, the students actually did get to watch us do shows, which is unusual. We don't usually do a show at boot camp.
Okay.
But they got to watch us do several shows at this last one. And they got to watch us deal with some of the things that you're going to deal with in the real world, where the stage is 150 feet away from the people. There's the moat of death where comedy goes to die.
Yeah. People are in the crowd, just all right. We can
binoculars.
Trying to see. Did somebody's hand fall down? And okay, you're all right. If you just want to come up on stage, just come up. The check's already cleared.
No, it takes them 2 minutes to walk up to the stage to get on stage.
Yeah. And then God forbid you've got to send somebody back because they just pop out or whatever. It's like you're gonna do this 150-foot walk of shame.
Please use the stage.
Back to our seats. Yeah. It's like, can I just go stage left and just hide out there? Oh, Becca's got a great question, Becca. What's been one of your favorite suggestions, or I'm assuming a skit to do on stage?
So Well, so we do a unique skit, and it's the Easter Bunny. It's a variation of the pregnant man. So everybody is you're an Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny lays eggs. Assume
Okay.
the egg laying position. One of the things I added to it, that's an Alan original skit. One of the things I added to it was squeal like a bunny. And you'll be surprised at what people will do. And then if they're silent, I say, that's right, bunnies don't have vocal cords. But one of my
I've heard rabbits scream. They're usually getting chased by something, but
it's a line. It's comedy. Come on.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones to do with kids. Sometimes we'll end up with an entire committee of 12-year-olds. So one of my favorite ones to do is to give them the suggestion that they're going to clean their room and they're going to help their mom. I'll give those suggestions, and the parents are in the audience going, "Yes, yes." So
shut up and take my money.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, "Yes, we're going to bring them back for every show." I've done some fun ones with hula hoops, imaginary hula hoops even.
Yep.
But yeah, the things that they do when they're a bunny laying an egg is probably one of the funniest ones.
Oh wow.
The imaginary hula hoop. So my show on Friday was a Hawaiian theme, so we did that exact thing along with there were two really great kind of police / private investigator dramas that came out of Hawaii, right? One was Hawaii 5-0.
5-0. Mm-hmm.
Right? And not the new one, the original.
Yes.
And the other one, of course, is Magnum PI.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Magnum known for? Well, he had that nice red Ferrari.
And they did a remake of that one too.
Yeah, so I grabbed as many Ferrari sounds as I could and built it into a sound clip, and they drove his Ferrari all the way down the volcano, because as they pulled into the very last part of the theme song, because I had the theme song also playing behind that, the volcano's exploding, go faster, go faster, go faster, and so they made it. And then I went, how was your drive? And oh yeah, it was okay. I think I hit something. Somebody said they're gonna have to fix the clutch. It's like, what did you guys do to this car?
I went to a show one time, and the hypnotist told everybody, "Here's your dream car, whatever. Start the car." And this one guy was like, and he just walked up and
ain't got no gas in it.
What's wrong with your imagination that you got a hoopty as your dream car?
It's like, no, it's flooded. These damn carbureted machines.
Oh yeah, well, I have a 1927 Model T. So.
Yeah, we should mention too, while we're on the subject of Hawaii, place your votes in the chat. Is Lisa a friend or a frenemy? And I believe I know the answer to this already. But
well,
friend or frenemy? We'll reveal that answer in a few minutes. Da, da, da. Da, da. How's that for sound effects?
I've already been disappointed once tonight with Tommy's reminder, but
well, yeah.
No, Tommy, I missed you in Detroit. I hope to make it out there next year for that conference.
It was a good conference. It's maybe a little tiny bit bigger than PHS, but there was quite a variety. And I swear I gained 5 pounds. They fed us tremendously.
Yeah. No, that was kind of an interesting thing where Dan Goyette said that they basically had the conference ticket had, I think it was breakfast and dinner or breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch. Yeah. Breakfast 3 days, lunch 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And
then everybody
bacon. There was lots of bacon.
And then everybody just kind of hung out and went, all right, we're all going to sit down and have dinner together anyway. So it was.
Well, we had we had an awards dinner thing one of the nights. So yeah, there was a group thing.
So congratulations to Nora for the what was the
She won
the Jim Kellner
the Jim
something
Kellner-
award?
Yeah, the Jim Kellner Award. She
And-
cried. She definitely cried.
Oh, the picture heavily implied that.
Yeah.
Nora says, I'm sorry, Susan says you're stuck.
I'm not
Susan,
sure who
which
he
one of
is.
us, and are we all better now?
There was a point where you were cutting out, and I don't know if it was my internet or yours. So that may be what she's talking about.
High probability it was mine.
Yeah.
Half of Washington State's on fire right now.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like California was not too long ago.
Yeah, my kids were so I live in San Diego, and we do have that sometimes. And one morning, my kids were little. They were off playing paintball. It was not our weekend to get up at the crack of dawn and drive them to paintball. The parents all took turns. And a friend of ours calls us. He was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" "Oh, we're sleeping." And he goes, "Your mountain's on fire." And I go, "What?" And I went and I looked out my front window and I said, "I'll call you back." And I called the parents that had my children up at this, and this was like 20 years ago. They had my children up at this paintball park up on the mountain. And they're like, "Oh, well, we're going to wait it out." And I said, "No, you're not. You're going to bring my kids home now, because they're not going to let me up the mountain to get them. So you are bringing them home now." And that paintball park burned. So
I would have been like,
call.
Don't bring them here. Take them to some place that's got a swimming pool. Get them the hell out of there and take them to the beach and,
Yeah.
and then
bring them home.
stand by.
Yeah, it was very bad. We had ash on our car for weeks, but yeah, there was a lot of casualties for that. And that is one of the reasons why, if you drive in San Diego, you will not see a lot of power lines, because ours are mostly underground.
Yeah, if you go near my it was at Rancho Bernardo area, and then
10 minutes from Rancho Bernardo.
Yeah, so my mom is probably 15-20 minutes south, depending on traffic, over up by Miramar, and then my dad, his house is out kind of East County, and I remember I was in Phoenix. I had moved a friend of mine from. She had bought a house in Phoenix and moved out from Cincinnati, so we had come out for a weekend. Kind of, well, we're like, hey, we did this drive, offload the car, let's go out there a couple hours, hang out, see the beach, family, come back, and then it was like, now we'll unpack. And so we just gotten back, 5 o'clock in the morning, phone rings, and my brother's like, all right, the fire's on the backside of the hill, we've pushed your truck out of the backyard, what do you want to keep? And I'm like, okay. And then it was, fortunately, Dad's house was fine. 3 houses down from my mom's house, just a concrete foundation and a chimney, and so you can go through the surrounding areas within her, her neighborhood, and it's like track home, castle, because it was right when the housing bubble popped. So all the housing prices were down to nothing, and contractors were like so desperate to be able to build. And so you could rebuild your house. And so it was a big insurance thing where lots of lawsuits, but people were able to rebuild like twice the house that they had before.
Well, that's good.
And so, yeah, good. I've got 4 friends that are with various fire departments down there. So every summer I'm like, all right, be safe, guys, make good choices.
Yeah. Don't throw cigarettes out the window. That's my biggest advice.
Or you could just quit, because I know hypnotists that can do that.
We know lots of them. We could refer you.
That's right.
So kind of the irony is, the friends of mine that are firefighters, we all worse than more ironic than that. We used to play this game where we would douse a tennis ball in like gasoline or lighter fluid, light it on fire, and kick it up and down the street. And
fireball.
How we? Oh God, there's a Jim Kellner reference. how we didn't burn our neighborhood down on more than one occasion is beyond me. But yeah, lots of good memories there. And yeah, I'm still in touch with those guys. And, if they see this, appreciate you guys for what you do. And if you need any help with some of the PTSD stuff, reach out. We'll get you taken care of. But yeah, kind of going back to, we've had our squirrel moment. Thanks for indulging me. But going back to the stage stuff, was there a like a most memorable experience that you had on stage where either something went so far off the rails, or you were like,
it's got to be the Alan and the Animals, Lisa.
It's Alan and the Animals.
All right.
I'm gonna go on this, like, you were like, we did not expect this type of response or reaction, but we're gonna keep going with this, and it just turned out like, I can't believe that.
It's even better than that, Brian.
It's on YouTube.
The Lord just giveth a pot of gold.
Take it away, Lisa.
So we do have a YouTube channel. It's Alan Sands. It's actually one of the shorts, so you could find it. You could probably find it, Shawn. So we do a routine called Power Animals. So some cultures have totems or spirit animals. Some cultures believe in reincarnation. And the setup is that if you were reincarnated as an animal, or if you were going to get your power from an animal, what would that animal be? Now, this is a large convention.
3 years ago, you guys were at the Skagit County Fair in Mount Vernon?
Yes.
In Washington? Next time you're up this way, let me know. I totally would have gone to that if I had known you guys 3 years ago.
Well, I did Redmond, Oregon 3 years in a row. 2 years in a row, sorry. Trying to think, where was I in Washington? I did do Washington recently. So Alan is on one end of the stage. I'm on the other. We've got like 20 people because this is a huge convention of 500 people.
Uh-huh.
And he's going down the row and he says, what's your name? What's your animal? And then demonstrate your animal is basically the setup. So he gets to this one person, this young lady, and he says, hi, what's your name? What's your animal? And she says, a beaver. And he says, show us your beaver. And then he turns 12 shades of red. He puts his hat in front of his face. He walks off stage. I've never seen him walk off stage. He walks off. He just leaves. And he goes,
he's like, oh, I'm going to jail.
He's like, it's all you. And so she gets down and she does her little twerking thing. And I say, give it up for her beaver. and he can't. He is like red. He is like dying. Yeah, he walked off stage.
Yeah.
Okay, what size t-shirt does Alan wear? You're gonna get something in the mail.
Medium or large. Yeah. He's the
extra medium.
Yeah, extra medium. He's not my size. He's the other way.
Size. I take an extra medium. Yeah.
Yep. He's ledium. Ladium? Lardium?
Oh.
Lardium.
Oh, so this bit's on YouTube. I'm looking for the.
It is on YouTube. It's on our Alan Sands page, and it's under the shorts. So Scott King, shout out to Scott King for editing that down for me into a short. And yeah.
When I remember when you first told us that in Hypno Hustle, the mastermind group, and
I just see the Alan Sands YouTube channel. That's it.
Well, there should be videos, shorts, title. There should be one that says shorts.
Yep, I'm looking at the shorts.
It's the only one we have. It's a blooper reel. It might be titled blooper. He said this is going on the blooper reel, and it did.
Oh, it has to. Like how could it not? But I remember when you first told us this, it was absolutely, It was absolutely hilarious, and then of course we got to watch kind of the full clip to see how our things were set up, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if there were more shades of red, I'm pretty sure he would have turned them. So,
Yeah. I've never seen him blush like that. And
yeah.
this was like one of our last shows right before the pandemic, too. So this was in 2020 in Alaska.
God, there's like steampunk things. There's the
Okay, you're gonna make me go look for it, huh? I don't know if I can. I bet Shawn
you
can.
know, I'm looking for it. You guys might have to carry this for a quick second.
So yes, we have some videos on there, but our main video channel, I have a Vimeo channel where all my shows are unedited generally. Once in a while, Alan cuts the induction out because he considers that the boring part, and I said, not to hypnotists. It's not boring.
It what it does is it actually, when we have an opportunity to see another induction, we can take that and say, okay, how does mine compare? You know,
And why'd they say that?
well, exactly, and why did that work? I've said something similar and it didn't work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
all of those pieces, and I would have said this to Jim Zellis when I was at Hypnothoughts, had a chance to meet him, and he and his wife were one of the first posters on the internet
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
general,
early
and
adopter.
for a guy that was just in university, things were just on the upswing with the technology and whatnot. That was like liquid gold to me, because then I had a connection to what was going on in the world of hypnosis that I didn't have before. Like I am fairly certain I would have read at least one or two books by Milton Erickson and Orman McGill in the university library, but that was really the main connection.
Yeah, he was very much a early adapter to the internet. He had that really cool poster made. And now oops, I'm trying to find that clip for you because you're driving me crazy now.
And for those of you that are listening, this is what
Oh well,
happens when you
this
have
is
an open loop.
I have the full show. I know where the full show is. Let's see if I can copy it. I don't know how to do that.
It's like you're gonna copy the link, paste it into the chat, and we're just be like, all right, everybody take 5. We're all gonna go look at it. Or what we might have to do, Shawn, is if you get the link, pop it up on your screen. If we can do kind of a picture in picture with the sound, and
I'm sure we can make something like that happen. Yep.
That's weird. I'm not seeing it under our shorts. That's very strange.
you're talking about the video clip, right?
We are, well, you know what? We will get it at some point
Yeah.
here, and we will make sure that people get to see it. What I will say, though, is that, yes, Alan realized his mistake. The look on his face,
Rapidly.
the eyes, yeah. What can I say? And
He definitely.
I see Scott has posted a message to you there, Brian. Just so you know, Lisa, that's been a running joke now for a couple of sessions already.
A couple of sessions.
Let's just say autocorrect struck at the wrong time. What can I say? And then it went from there. Anyway, we should circle back to the big question that we have, that we ask everybody. And as we do that, I am going to jump in here and make sure I've got the
So, Brian, if you want to
sound effect.
If you want to search all Alaska Roundup, you'll find the full video.
Okay.
But I don't know where the short is, but I know where the full video is. Okay, I'm ready.
We'll get it. All right.
2022?
No, 2020.
Okay.
The big question, friend or frenemy? Lisa, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, only with certain toppings, though.
We add another one to the frenemy list.
That was my high school job. I worked at a pizza place. I've tried all kinds of things on pizza.
Uh-oh.
I do not like Canadian bacon and pineapple. I prefer pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapenos.
So you and Scott can pretty much share a pizza then.
My favorite pizza, when I don't really eat pizza very often, is pepperoni, mushrooms, and black olives. But I have a gluten sensitivity, so it's very rare that you'll see me eating pizza.
You lost a fan in England.
Hey, do you know what they put on pizza in England? Canned corn.
I don't. Becca probably does.
Canned corn. They call it tin corn. They put canned corn on their pizza.
You know what else they do in England? They fuck up their autocorrect on their phones.
I think that Shawn has that same autocorrect on his.
There are days. Yep. There are days.
Extra letters. You can thank Benjamin Franklin for the difference, because he said, "We don't pronounce it. Why do we have it?" And he's a relative of mine.
And then Gallagher talks about the watermelon smashing guy, the comedian. He says there's a wah-wah sound in one, but there's no W. And then he goes, and then you have two, the number two. He goes, there's a wah-wah that you don't need. And it does a whole bit on how messed up the English language is.
Well, and there's it's 2, 2, and 2. It's like,
oh yeah, it's
with autocorrect now. People defiantly need something, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made I screen printed some T-shirts for Corey Michaelis, kind of a last minute deal, and he was one of his bits that he does for his routine is he talks about he was a high school teacher, and then he went into substitute teaching, and he goes, yeah, high school kids, they go, I'm defiantly going to collage. So
There.
So I had to put like community collage students, and then it's. But where is the?
I see what you did there. With their,
what you did there.
Over there.
There.
All right, we are rolling into almost the end here, and it is time to do the hypnosis portion of our program.
Oh.
Because guess what? We have somebody who can hypnotize people. And
I can. More than one at a time, even.
might be difficult to do that worldwide, but that's a lot of running. But we might get there,
Hold my beer. Let's see how this works.
I like your disclaimer. So if you are driving or doing something that needs your attention, turn off this
recording, this podcast. You can come back and
wait
listen
for later.
Yeah.
Cooking, I always joke about that one, but I had somebody on TikTok who was chopping vegetables at the time, and I made the joke, if you're chopping vegetables, probably you want to either stop this or...
Yes.
And she said, darn it, I'm just in the middle of making supper.
Yeah.
Something that requires your full attention, like updating the settings on the autocorrect on your phone.
All good.
In
All right.
metric.
Yeah.
What's the matter with metric? I mean, the rest of us use it.
Admitting it is the first step in recovery, Shawn.
Freedom units and metric. Isn't that the way?
Yes,
Uh,
that's it.
it's all good. All right, Lisa, go ahead and take it away. And when we come back from the session, we'll talk a little bit about experience and
Yeah.
we'll
Get some
go on
feedback.
the rest of the evening. Absolutely.
All right. So, those of you that are choosing to participate, find a comfortable position and just pick a spot on the ceiling and stare at that spot without moving a muscle. As you take a deep breath all the way in, really fill up your lungs. Hold it for just a second and then exhale. And take another, even deeper breath all the way in. Hold it. And slowly exhale, just allowing any tension or stress that you might be holding on to release. And take one more deep breath all the way in. Hold it. And as you slowly exhale, just close your eyes down like you're going to sleep now. And for the next few moments, take this time for yourself. Realize and recognize that there is nowhere to go and nothing to do, but be right here, right now. Let's begin by relaxing your body. Just relax the muscles in your toes. Let those muscles become loose and limp and lazy. Bring that relaxation from your toes to the balls of your feet. Relaxing more and more now with each breath that you take. Bring that relaxation down to your heels, into your ankles, and up your legs through your calves to your knees. Relaxing more and more now with each beat of your heart. Bring that relaxation from your knees all the way up your thighs into your hips and into your spine. And feel that relaxation like ribbons flowing in and around each and every vertebrae. Bring that all the way up to your shoulders. And then imagine that relaxation going around your torso. Relaxing more and more now with each word that I say, each sound that you hear. Bring that relaxation into your shoulders. Take another deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. And just let your shoulders drop down. Bring that relaxation from your shoulders down to your elbows, to your wrists, and to your fingers. Feeling any stress or tension flowing out of your fingers now as you replace that with peaceful, calm relaxation. Stress, tension, and relaxation are all just forms of energy. And energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred. And now bring that relaxation up into your neck. Feel the vertebrae in your neck just relax. And into your jaw. You may even find that your jaw parts slightly as you relax the muscles in your face. Bring that relaxation up over the back of your head, up your cheeks, to your eyes. You may notice your eyelids fluttering like butterflies. That's perfectly normal, perfectly natural. Bring that relaxation up to the top of your head, relaxing now from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Want it to happen. Expect it to happen. Allow it to happen. This is your experience. As you relax there, you may notice that you start to feel heavy. Heavy as if you're sinking down deeper and deeper into the surface beneath you. You may notice that you start to feel light. Light as a feather, as if you're floating on a big, soft, white, fluffy cloud. That cloud floats off into the clear blue sky and disappears. You may notice you start to feel warm or cool or tingly. Know that all of these sensations are perfectly normal, perfectly natural. They differ from person to person, place to place, and time to time. And now, just picture, imagine, think, hear, feel a goal that you have in mind for yourself. We're going to start with a small goal because every path tends to become overgrown if not used. And a lot of times when we don't achieve our goals, we start thinking that we can't. And so I want you to pick a small, achievable goal, something that you've been wanting to do. You just maybe haven't found the motivation. Something easy that'll take you only a moment or two. That's right. Now take that goal in your mind and picture and imagine it at the top of a flight of stairs in front of you. There are 5 steps in this flight of stairs, and on each step is written one of the steps that you need to take to achieve your goal. And in a moment, we're going to walk up those steps together. When you reach the top, step into the you that you'll be having already achieved your goal. You'll see what you see, feel what you feel, hear what you hear, experience life the way you'll experience it, having actually already done the deed. So let's begin, because every journey begins with a single step. Let's step up onto the first step. Let's step up onto the second step. Take the third step. Take the fourth step. And get ready on the next step. Step into the you that you'll be, having achieved your goal. And step in to the you that's already done that thing. And to see how the world looks different. Feel how you feel different. Hear what others say to you. Some of them are going to be encouraging. Oh, I knew you could do it. And some of them are going to be discouraging. I didn't think you had it in you. You showed them, didn't you? Feel proud of yourself having achieved that goal and knowing that you're creating a pathway to success. Now let's step back down the steps, back to the here, to the now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn around and look at those steps. Look up at the you at the top that's already achieved the goal and notice that the steps look smaller now. The top seems closer. So you know what? Let's do this again. Get ready. Let's go back up to the top. But this time we're going to do it really fast because you know when you've been somewhere before, it's really easy to get there the second time. So you ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step in. Step into the you that you'll be when you've achieved that goal. Feel how you'll feel. Hear what you'll hear. Know what you'll know. See what you'll see. Smell or taste, if that's part of your experience. And now just take a mental selfie of yourself having achieved that goal and file that memory away in your unconscious mind. Because your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a real and an imagined memory. And when you create the memory of yourself having already achieved that, that gives your unconscious mind the permission to set that plan in motion, to make it a memory for you. And once you've done that small thing, you can use this same process to achieve bigger, larger goals. But first, we want to set the path. We want to clear it away and give you the steps to success. Now it's time to come back down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Just relax and allow yourself a moment to tell yourself how good you feel having achieved your goal. Say those things to yourself that maybe no one else does. Have a positive voice in your own head. You've got this. I knew you could do it. I had faith in you. And now leave that scene behind as you just relax and focus in on the sound of my voice. Relaxing your mind, your body, and knowing that each and every time that you experience hypnosis, it becomes easier, deeper, faster for you to go to the level that you need for that session. Sometimes we want to go very, very deep. Sometimes we only need a light state in order to achieve our goals. Whatever works for you. Hypnosis is a personal experience. It differs from person to person, place to place, and time to time, and yet you find that it gets easier and easier for you each and every time that you decide to be hypnotized. In a moment, if you'd like to come back to the here, to the now, I'll count you out. If you're already in bed and you would just like to go to sleep, just allow yourself to drift and dream and float. For those of you coming back to the here, to the now, I'm going to count from the 1 to 5. When I reach the number 5, just open your eyes, feeling wonderful, refreshed, revitalized, filled with lots of vim and vigor, ready to take on the rest of your day. 1, coming up now, feeling the energy start to flow from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. 2, your eyes feel as if they've just been bathed in a beautiful, crystal clear mountain spring. 3, you feel so refreshed, so revitalized, like you just had a 10-minute power nap. 4, your mind, your body, so refreshed, so revitalized, taking in a deep breath now. On the count of 5, just open your eyes, feeling wonderful. And 5, eyes open, wide aware, feeling wonderful. How do you feel?
All right.
Tell us in the comments, and Lisa, I managed to find something.
Awesome. Did you find the short or the long?
We got it queued up and ready to go.
It's queued up. The video that Scott edited is more cut in, so
it's the link that I gave to Shawn should have it start right kind of at the time hack where it gives us a second or two to lead in. So it was about, I want to say a little over an hour into the show, but yeah.
So while you were working through the hypnosis session, Mr. Mark Barris has joined us. Said, "Hey, Becca and Scott, he's feeling great."
Awesome. It was a quick session. Hypnosis doesn't have to be super long.
Becca says it was her favorite time, as is with every hypnosis session that we do on the broadcast.
Yeah, and she may have decided to stay sleeping, seeing how it's
I did that specifically for her and any others across the pond.
Yep, totally makes sense. All right, I don't see any additional comments in TikTok land, but if you do have some out there in TikTok land, let us know. What is up for you guys next, Lisa? You guys have some shows coming up. I know boot camp isn't going to go on again until next year.
July 29th. So this is that time of year where you talked about I also do tarot. Yep. This is the time of year where I am home in San Diego and I am available for tarot reading. So I do a lot of Halloween parties and I do fortune telling at the parties. I also do a unique type of fortune telling called lip impressions, which is, it's like palm reading, but for your kiss. So it's a unique one. It's very popular at the high schools. So we actually don't have any shows scheduled until November. Alan has one on the East Coast, but I'm not going because I will make more money here in San Diego than traveling to do one show. We do. She likes to stay till the end. We do have conventions that we go to in November and December as well. And we, of course, will be booking more shows. We just don't have anything on the books until December at this moment. But we do a lot of Christmas parties. So we have multiple seasons of our work. So now we're moving into the corporate season. We just finished with the fair season. And after the corporate season is the high school season, where we do the lock-in parties, the safe and sober overnight parties for after prom or after graduation. So we're moving into corporate season now.
Nice. All right. Well, whilst everyone was
everyone's coming back to life.
Whilst everyone was focusing on Lisa, Brian was being industrious.
I think that's a good word.
I won't say like which animal.
Productive.
But we in Canada do know this animal to be, industrious.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hardworking.
And we did actually find the clip. So without further ado,
so let it play, because there's the big tall guy that goes next, and then he says what animal he is, and then Lisa goes, "Okay, like show us." She did not say show us your, because she learned from Alan. Because that could have been a twofer.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm going to bring this up here. We're going to share a screen. It's going to be that screen. We're also sharing the audio so everybody can actually hear it.
Yes, that's important.
Et voila.
Et voila.
The technology works. Everybody is ready. Without further ado, Misty and the Sandman.
Hey, Carly, what animal are you?
A beaver.
A beaver.
Industrious, hardworking.
Let's see your beaver.
Hey, pause it real fast, Sean. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh boy.
Scott, you can edit something like that in there.
You made him blush. That's the first.
That's why you love bloopers reel. Give it up for her. Please.
This is where it could have been. She goes on to the next guy real fast.
A check. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You're smart. Very smart.
Go to the car seats.
Yes. Good doggy. Oh, yes, a treat.
I don't even remember this part.
So when
Give it up for her.
so the big tall guy's right after this.
Hi, baby. What animal are you?
I'm a Wookiee.
Oh, I can see that. Please show us. Awesome. Thank you.
So at least on that one, she was like, "Okay, there you go." Like a lot better than show us your Wookiee, because then it would have been like, all right, this really went bad.
All good. All right. Well, we are at the end. In more ways than one, it's the end of our season 3. It's the end of the podcast. Mark has a quick little statement on live tarot, because I know how to pronounce tarot, because Lisa probably would otherwise reach through the screen and smack me if I mispronounced it.
Well, it's a French word, so.
Yes, we have some of those people in Canada.
Of the maple syrup variety. But no, so now everybody knows Alan's goof up, and so people are going to be like, "Show us your beaver, Alan." And you're like, "Oh."
We should do that all the way through PHS.
But is Alan going to be there?
That's the plan currently. We'll see.
Oh, then I'm going to bring him something.
Okay.
No, it's not a
I
stuffed
won't
steak.
tell him. It's a surprise.
No,
But
it's all good.
That's now looking forward to seeing
I'll see
everybody.
if I can find the short clip and put it on one of the somewhere. Put a link to it.
No, we want Alan to show up.
Oh yeah.
Because then it'll be funny if he's like, "Nope, I'm not stepping on that landmine."
It's all
Right,
good.
because I don't think he's watching.
Oh, if we put it up on the PHS site, but
Well, yeah, if you put it up on the PHS site, that's a little different. That one you might want to talk to Grant about before you put it up there. But Lisa, thank you for spending some time with us.
You're welcome.
I know it's been a little, because you guys are like you said, you got multiple seasons, and there's usually very little downtime between them.
Yes.
You've been wanted to have you on for a couple of years now. I'm so glad that we were able to actually get you, and we do look forward to seeing you at Las Vegas in January for the Performing Hypnosis Summit. And yeah, Brian, any last thoughts before we cut to the last?
about Scott, not in polite company.
Yeah, we won't put that one on the screen.
Well, speaking of Scott, so Sean mentioned
who needs enemies when you have friends like him?
Shawn mentioned that we are part of a mastermind group called Hypno Hustle. So if you are a serious hypnotist looking how to get your hustle on, pop up one of us and we'll see if we can get you an invite to the group.
Yeah, it's not dance moves. It's a
No.
different hustle.
Different kind of hustle. Make that money, honey.
Yeah,
Sure.
Scott's got a pretty good like online store that he can help set up assist
Oh, yeah.
with audio recordings and things like that. So yeah, I
I don't think he
Definitely
prints
would-
t-shirts, but he might want to get into the business if you're. You've given out an idea now, Brian.
Becca, I will make sure that Custom stops you in Vegas and turns you around.
Oh, it's
Wow.
all
She'll land in Vegas, call my phone, and it's just going to be new phone. Who dis?
Your phone is the customer
So-
you are trying to reach. Dee, dee, dee.
Yeah, the American that you're trying to reach, you've pissed off. But no.
We've actually done that before, and I'm telling I'm telling on people now, but in tech services about I don't know 5 years ago, one of the guys was having a day, and
Okay.
so he picked up the phone and answered it and said, "Yeah, you've reached the technology services help desk. Please press 1 if you want to speak to a technician." And we waited because we knew he was having a day, and this was live, like he said it live.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, beep. So they pressed 1. We all had a good laugh. Anyway, that's how to answer your phone to all those telemarketing calls. You've reached the personal assistant of.
Yeah, someone
No.
did that. This is the AI assistant, so and so. I just don't talk because I figured they'll take me off their list. We were talking about that on the hustle group the other day. About
Yeah, I mentioned I almost had an ex father-in-law that he used an air horn whenever he had those callers. So consequently, there weren't many after that.
Yeah, we had a whistle.
So the people that you guys travel a lot, so you could appreciate this. I saw a meme on Facebook that said, "What's the proper response, etiquette wise, when you're in the restroom and someone knocks on the door and you're in there?" And somebody had the response is, "You scream really loud as you can. Come back with a warrant."
And on that note, we will see everybody next week as we kick off season 4 of Hypnosis Hero. Until then, on behalf of everybody here, take care, stay well, and be awesome.
And come
Bye.
back with a
Good night,
warrant
everybody.
next time.